We need to nurture Mother Earth. And so we thank the creator of heaven and earth who has made this lovely earth so beautiful. And it calls for each one of us to care for Mother Earth as we care for our own aged parents. This wonderful world that was made, that was found very good by the Creator, we have desecrated it, we have spoiled it. And so, Lord, as we gather together today, we make this commitment in our own personal life that we will take better care of Mother Earth, nurture her, take care of her. And so we take care of all our brothers and sisters around us, those who need our help, those who need our assistance. And we remember Father James, who could not be here with us, and everyone who is sick. They're sick because we are bombarded with so many chemicals that enter our system through food, through water, through atmosphere, through everything. And so we ask the Lord, the Creator of heaven and earth, to purify this world once more. And we commit ourselves to make this world a better place, to purify it the way that you want it. And so we will ensure the good health of everyone who gathers here and who are our near and dear ones who stay far away from us or who are around us. We ask this in the name of Jesus. Amen. And so, Kong Wandaya, you can go ahead with the program. I think I've finished my part.
Thank you, Kong Millie, for the very beautiful introduction and prayer. A very good evening and a warm welcome to all of you. ECSSR City is a small organization.
Hello, Kong, can you speak a little bit loudly? I think it's not so clear. The voice is not so, yeah.
You can go ahead with the program. I think I've finished my part.
Okay, I have to get closer then. Can you hear me now? Is my voice audible?
Yes.
Okay. A very good evening and a warm welcome to all of you. ECSSR City is a young and small organization. Our main activities are around research, counseling, and training. We are very pleased to welcome those of you who have participated in all our programs, as well as those who are joining us for the first time. Before we get started, I would like to express my happiness to welcome all our board members, the members of a general body, heads and members of the research and counseling committees. Thank you, each one of you, for gracing us with your presence. On behalf of ECSSR City, I would also like to acknowledge and appreciate the effort made by the organizing team, the Vocational Training Committee, under the leadership and guidance of Larry, in conducting this webinar and ensuring its success. We sincerely appreciate the team spirit and commitment of each members, especially our coordinator, Ms. Tracy, our moderator, Kong Mildred, Doreen, Fiba, Randolph, and Lamreach. We would like to extend a warm welcome to our resource persons, Sir Ashangbam Swapan Kumar Singha, a very kind, down-to-earth and knowledgeable person who is a social entrepreneur and a great social worker. Ms. Momi Peku, a lady with an impactful and life-changing visions, has introduced various innovative projects to create job opportunities and provide a space for young people to share and realize their dreams. Thank you, Sir Swapan and Ms. Momi, for accepting our invitation to inspire and educate our participants on this very important subject. Most importantly, we feel blessed and privileged to welcome each of you, dear participants, to this event on social entrepreneurship. Social entrepreneurs are individuals who, instead of leaving the needs of society to the government or business sectors, they solve the problem by changing the system themselves. As a growing economy, India today needs many social entrepreneurs. We need a revolution for people in different walks of life in creating and implementing effective, innovative, and sustainable solutions to combat social and environmental challenges. And yes, social entrepreneurship is an important term of social responsibility and a way to solve a variety of urgent social problems. My dear friends, I hope this webinar will be an excellent learning experience for all of you, as you will get to listen to the passionate social entrepreneurs themselves. May you feel motivated to start your own enterprise, be job creators and change makers who will strive to bring change to your community, state, and region. I wish you all happiness and success. Once again, a very warm welcome to each of you. Enjoy learning. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you, madam. Now we shall go over now to the next program. Sir Swapan, you are there? Hello.
I'm there.
Swapan, sir? Right,
Yes.
right. So I'll start with you. Okay.
Please.
So once again, we are very, very honored with your presence here with us. And I was really amazed when I went through the profile you have sent us. And I feel I have no words to add further to it because it's so comprehensive and it is so inspiring. So I must say that you are a man who really know what is the best in life. From being in a faraway place and with so many vast experiences and different fields that you have worked with, like the fields of economics, you were a man who were there in times of trouble through your peace and conflict care center in Bangkok. That's a beautiful place. You have done your social studies in the Netherlands. That's again a beautiful place. And to come back to your own hometown, to your own place of birth, it is something unique because everyone is trying to run away to go to greener fields because they thought maybe the other side is greener. But you came back home and you made the place greener and beautiful. It's so touching, sir. You know, when I went through your encounter there at Guwahati, you were with the development sector, and this has sort of anchored you to start something that is very unique and something that is very, very, very satisfying, that is to become a full-time, successful farmer. I came from a farmer background, okay. And, you know, for me, I mean, to touch the soil is like the very life itself. And I can understand your feelings when you come back to your own place and be a full-time farmer and bring so much of progress and contribution to your own people. We have seen how the Brahmaputra Valley has done, and there's more destruction that site than development. But what you have done for Barak Bali, I've been there, I've crossed the Barak Bali on a boat, and we have gone to a village with a lot of Khasi people from the Jaintia state, and they are enterprising people. They are doing a lot of farming on their hills. Of course, that was the only time I went, but, you know, it's something amazing. I mean, that our people are there and, you know, it brought me so much joy because I was there for a few weeks there at Silchar. I had my attachment during my probation period. So I really fell in love with that Barak Bali. Now
you come again.
Yes, sir, I will come. And now to have you here from that very same beautiful place of enterprising people, and we will make them more enterprising. It's something, that my heart is beating very fast. And so let me not take too long, because we would like to hear from you, sir. So let us hear from you. Now I give over to you, sir, to start. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Juan, for giving me this opportunity to speak to your friends, who is going to be my friend from today onwards. Because I believe in one thing: when you come together, think together, and do any ventures together, that will lead to more better place to live in. And if we put the walls between, that's not going to solve the problems. So the general tendency in the world, in the globe, is that when you become rich, you put up the world. When you get richer, what you'll do is you'll construct a concrete house, then you'll be walling your whatever boundary you have, and you'll be, what they will say, that you will become self-sufficient. You don't want to need people, then you wall yourself and you say that I don't need you because you have money. And that itself leads to, what should I say, so-called losing culture. Slowly that will alienate us from the culture. Culture develops from the people coming together and interacting on people and speaking together and saying that, okay, what is the best for people. But the contradiction in today's world, what I see is that in the capitalist form of society, where market drives us, it's all about profit and money and how much, who can earn how much, who can buy how much. It's about money and a lot of consumerism. Therefore, in this kind of world, when you really look at it, there are a whole lot of issues in the world. For example, let me say, there was a report which come up by Oxfam in 2018 or 19. It says that almost half of the world's wealth is only with 8 individuals. 8 richest persons of the world own something around 50% or 50% of the world's wealth. That itself shows that, okay, how unjust the world is, and which is created by the economic system of the world. So after knowing the politics and economy of the world, so-called nowadays that coined this term called political economy of the world, where rich are becoming richer and poorer becoming poorer. In that kind of context, we young people who are a bit socially motivated have lots to do in this world, lots to do for our own societies or neighboring society. It's not about my society, it's also anybody or society. As I said, when you come together, you become society. One, you are maybe Kasi, you may be Jaintia, or I'm a Meitei, or somebody is Bengali, somebody is Assamese. But in today's world where we are so connected, that when we come together, we bring out a different kind of culture of coming together and working together, and that will lead to different kind of world which will be more peaceful, which will be full of equality and full of justice. And that's how I imagine. Having said that, the points which I was asked to talk is about social entrepreneurship and whether it can be option for career for young generations. What is social entrepreneurship? The conceptual aspect. I don't think, okay, concept is something which you can read, like, no? Nowadays you can just Google it and there are so many things talks about social and what is social entrepreneurship. As the earlier person, other than one, she also talked about what is social entrepreneur, that people coming together doing something good for the society. Or it can be with a business. It can be an economic activity at the side by side. It also have social objectives to bring equality and to bring justice in the society. The work can be of any kind of social, cultural, economic, or environmental issue, which which is generally you can read. We are all educated people, you can read from any theoretical books. But the thing is, there's a problem which I been observing or which I have realized in my own personal life and when I analyze society is that we say something most of the time which we cannot practice by ourselves. Take the example of me. When I was working in X&A, I used to tell farmers, do this, do that. This is the better way to doing this. Therefore, what I have realized that after starting up to MA or MSc or whatever, our knowledge has burst. The knowledge of people like us has increased. And more you read, your knowledge becomes bigger. The problem is that when you have a knowledge, but if you don't implement it, there comes a problem. Because a knowledgeable person will always want to talk and want to advise. But he or she doesn't understand what is the problem people really face on the ground. Knowledge by itself is not a problem. It empowers a person. But the thing is, if the knowledge remains as a knowledge without really making it applied in our own personal life, there comes a challenge. And today's world, most of us, including me, we know plastic is bad. Let's take the example. But I still want to carry back from the market. So we know plastic is bad. And I still cannot apply that in my own life. Or a plastic bottle is bad. Water bottle is bad. I still drink it, I throw it anywhere. So the problem is knowledge by itself is not a problem. It is there always. But applying that knowledge into real life is the problem. Now, when you talk about social entrepreneur, I think it has to start from the individual. Like, no, we have to practice what we say, and that is the most difficult task. So, as social entrepreneur, I say, or as told by the person who introduced the program, is people with some business motive, at the same time, business with some social motive. Social motive will be called as a social entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is basically who does work for basically profit, but when you add on with social, that is something for social and cultural or economic causes. Therefore, it is the mixture of social cause and economic cause, or maybe environmental cause. So it has multiple things. So the person who become a social entrepreneur, I think the Monmi will also talk about it better. But the thing is, I'll not go much about as I said, I don't want to go much about the theoretical part of it, but I'll share more of my own personal experience. The way we study it, the way we have been taught in school and colleges, I think that itself is a problem I see more and more these days. What do we do? So-called middle class and educated people, we just say our children, we have to give our children to the best school. So we try to give in maybe Don Bosco or some St. Edmunds or St. Antonius, we consider the best. And we tell our child that study and study. Don't mix with people. Don't talk to people. You study so much that you get a good job. So the children, they go to in the morning. In the morning they get up. Then they rush for school. They rush for school. Before that, I'll just like this. I'll take the example of my village context, which may be happening in Khasi or Zentia or any other part of Northeast. Nowadays, people think that, okay, government schools are not functioning. It's better to send to the private school. Now, what do we do? Most of the children who are in a better places, they will try to send whatever board, if they are able to do it, they will send it to private school. Once you're in a private school, you'll put up your tie, you'll put your shoes, and that itself is the starting point where we start disconnecting with our mother nature. these children, when we were kids, we used to go to paddy fields. The parents would say, okay, go and give this food to whoever's working in the field. And we used to carry certain things to the field. So we were in touch with that particular mother art or the work in the villages. Now, in current system, what happened is that our children are brought up in such a way that they started disconnecting because they have to rush for school. And then they go to school and they come back from the school and they will be sent for tuitions and whatnot. In the evening, they come back, they'll be giving some food and then they'll say, read now. So the interaction interaction of children with the nature, there's no time for that. And it's not only with the nature, but also with the community. When you were kids, we used to play in the village, we used to go door to door, have fun with other family members. So there was always social interaction happening. Nowadays, what happens is children grow in that kind of situation. They grow up, they study higher and they get a job. When they got a job also, I see that nowadays people, so-called middle class, mostly middle class children, they are not able to mix with other people because they are not taught in that way. They are not groomed in that way, So there's a small detachment with the society. Therefore, most of the people nowadays in the younger generation, what we see is that, okay, what they want is a good job. They'll have a big flat. They'll have a car. So their agenda is more in terms of acquiring more and more consumer items. That itself shows that they think that, okay, we are success in life. Now, having said that, as one was saying that I travel and work in different part of India and some part of other parts of the world. What I started feeling is that if I go and work in, let's say, in Thailand, what I'm doing, I'm developing a particular village or two particular or three particular villages of that particular area. There's nothing wrong with it. But who is going to develop my village? Who is going to develop my own economy, my family's economy, my village economy? Somebody else would be there, no? Now, what's happening is that in this world of education, where people are pursuing higher studies and wanting better job, therefore they want to go out of the villages or smaller towns to bigger town. There is, as you all know about it, there's brain drain happening. The best children are gone out of the village. Second base category of children are also gone out of the village. The race which cannot do well for some whatever reason are in the village. They may be from the poorest family. And these people are mostly, what happens is that they cannot do much in the villages because maybe for whatever social background, whatever education background, whatever, because of certain they cannot do it. Therefore, the villages in most of the places of Northeast or villages, we see that villages are not doing that much because the quality people in the village has gone out. Moreover, the people who went out could earn some money has stayed there. Maybe in Ceylon, maybe in Guwahati, maybe in Delhi, they have settled there. Once in the blue moon, they'll come down to village with their big cars. And they will say that, okay, our villages remain just like that. The village also is not working. So the thing is that I felt that, okay, what I want to tell to all of us who is here, being you, most of us are basically somewhere maybe socially want to be part of social development process. I said, I always feel that I have some responsibility towards my village. We have certain responsibility towards, certain duty towards our village, because when I grow, I have been helped by the villagers. Not only my parents, the other villagers also help me. Therefore, I have responsibility towards those people. Now, as we study, most of us know that, okay, we study for job. Most of us. Therefore, we have not really understood what we have studied. How many of us really apply what we study in our life? For example, what I'm trying to do now is that, okay, whatever I study in economics, I'm trying to apply it. Economic theories, I want to apply it now in my own work. So if somebody has done political science, we have to know that how to apply my theories of political science on the ground. So that it's not only my understanding improves, but also I have to teach the people on the ground that what is political science, what different system, how system works. For example, political science, how Panchayati Raj functions, how the assembly functions, how parliament, what is the role of MLA, what is the role of MP, whether they are performing well in they are supposed to do. So what I'm basically saying is that most of us does not even analyze what's happening. We always complain. In our village, this is not happening. In our village, this is not happening. Our food is not good. Our this is not good. Our road is not good. But the thing is that why that are not happening, we lack in our analysis. So for a person who want to be entrepreneur first or adapt to it, a social entrepreneur is a person who need to be having critical thinking, like, no? A person has to always analyze why this is happening. I always tell to my friends when I talk to younger generation that the education should be such that it should make people thinking, like, no, they are critical thinking or questioning. So the problem with most of us is that we don't ask questions. We have to ask questions to ourselves. At the same time, we have to ask to elders or the teachers that why is so? Why is not like this? So the thing is that our younger generation, people like you all, or including me, we have to ask questions. Why our villages are like this? We have to go to deep root causes deeper and deeper. Why you are still poor when the people in London, people in Delhi, or people in whatever in the part of the world, so-called developed places, why they are like this, and why they are like that, and why you are like this. So when we go down to that root cause, then we'll be coming to the idea that what I want to do. So, and what I want to do is not something one has come and doing farming. It doesn't mean that you have to do it. You have to find out your own patience. Okay, if you want to teach children, you should teach children. If you want to be a political leader, you should be a political leader. That should be something which is out of your heart, not of your brain. Brain is basically talks about only profit and loss. If I do this, whether I'll be in profit, whether you something like that, no? Profit and loss. Mind is a wanderer. Mind always speak about what I feel is the mind always. They are dreamer. Like mind is dreamer. Whereas the soul is basically talks about good and bad. And when your soul and your heart accept it, there's something will be doing with your heart, like, no. So you want to be a farmer, you should be wanting it from your heart. If you want to be a teacher, you should be wanting from your heart that I want to teach, I want to develop our children in such a way. I want to see whatever problem I'm facing today, my children's, our new generation should not facing. Like, that should be the way I think a social entrepreneur's attitude need to be. I feel somewhere like that. So a social entrepreneur is a person who has entrepreneurial ability at the same time with full of heart, who want to do something for other people. When I say other people, it's not about only Khasi people. It's not only about Meitei people. I being Meitei, I will work only for Meitei. It's not like that. Any person who faces similar kind of problem in which my heart is, go around, do it. So the thing is, what I basically feel is that anybody who wants to go into social enterprise should be choosing a sector, choosing an area where his interest is. A person may be a nature lover, like, no, he should go into that. Someone is doing farming, it doesn't mean that you have to do farming. Then after doing something, you'll be said, enough, I don't want to do it anymore. But something which is in your heart, you'll keep doing. And today, somewhere in the WhatsApp, I was saying that, okay, to become a successful person, it will take at least 10 to 20 years. Today, 3 years back, when I started to work, I was prepared at least for 5 years. That for 5 years, I should not be spending anything on myself. I should not be even wearing, whatever. I should not be buying any new clothes. I should not be buying any new shoes. Because if I spend on my clothes, then I'll be losing whatever, my investment in my whatever I'm trying to do. My focus is on that. So the thing is, it's not about 5 years, let's say. I may not be starting in 5 years because the way I thought about it, thinking and doing is different. Like, no, so society behaves in different fashion. Like, no, because I think it, you don't think it. Like, no, the villagers also think in that direction. When I come back, I started working in the village. People are, yeah, has this gun saying like, no, he was working somewhere doing whatever, and he has come back and doing all this, cleaning the cow dung and all whatnot. Like, no. So, but the thing is that people will not accept as why this man is up to. Therefore, the thing is that it may take longer time, longer period than you think. Therefore, you be prepared. Therefore, patience is very important, but consistently working towards what you want to do, that will be very important. Therefore, just sometimes why most of us fail. Most of us fail because we don't do things with our own patience. We don't understand how people are doing, therefore I start doing it. Like, no, this is in fashion. People say, okay, now people, you have to take care of nature. If you have to do this, that. Therefore, that becomes fashion, and it's okay. Maybe I also like it, and I started doing that. And after sometimes you realize that, oh, no, this is not what I wanted to do. Then you jump into something like you do for 2 years, and you feel lost. Then you say, okay, I didn't want to do this. I wanted to do something else. The first finding out what you really want to do and what is your passion is most important thing. When you want to be entrepreneur or social entrepreneur. Having said that, okay, I should not be taking lots of time because there will be question time where we can come back. So then the question to me was that whether entrepreneurship is an option for a career. I'll start like this. We are so connected in this time of internet. We are so connected. We are so close to each other. I'm not about Northeast only. I'm also globally. Like, we are so connected. So how world function? World has its own economy, and world has its own politics. Politics and economy go side by side. Now, what I feel is that in today's world, the economy dictates the politics. Now, take the example. Why British came to India? British came to India for what? Why? They colonize us. They wanted our resources. They didn't want to rule us there. They wanted resources. That means what? They want the economy. They want to get economy out of it. They want to develop on their own area by taking resources from us. Now, the whole thing of colonization ended something around 1960s or 70s. The whole system of colonizing a country was ended. India got independence. All countries in the world which were part of colonial Europe, colonial British, colonial Italy, all gone. And then what is the new form which came in? That is called imperialism. They ship the American companies say somewhere here, they're in the US or somewhere in China or somewhere in Singapore, but they still control us. Nike is a company from somewhere else, they still do business here. Hyundai is a company from somewhere else, they still do here. Samsung is a company somewhere else, they still do here. That's a new form of capitalism. Now, in this whole capitalist economy, where we are, somewhere we have to think where we are. If I remember going to Nong Trao in Cherrapunji when there was a project happening when I was working at XNA. To go to Nong Trao, it takes about 3 hours. For people like me, it took about going down, it took about 2 hours or such difficult place to go down, and to come up is much more difficult. By the time you reach to Nong Trao from the roadside, I'll be already reaching somebody will be reaching from your Umiam airport to Delhi. The world, on the one side, world is going so fast. The world policies are changing so fast. Whereas our economy, our policy, our politics are confined to, just like in the way we live, we cannot cross even the hills. So in that kind of context, where larger companies and corporates is trying to take away whole resources for the benefit of the capitalist class, we have major role to play. I feel somewhere we have major role to play, because if we cannot save our resources, what will happen to our future generation? Because if you are not having resources, then how will survive? The world, what I feel is that, okay, we have to really look into like this, like, no, what do we buy and what do we share? The simple economics is this: India and US, India and China, India and Bangladesh. Who is become more powerful? One who is sells, not the one who is buy. The people who buy will be always weak. The people, because you are dependent on somebody else, right? No? If they don't give us rice, that means you are buying it. No, if they don't give you rice, then if they say that, okay, today it is 50 rupees, by next month it will be 100 rupees. You have to buy, because you have to buy rice, otherwise you will not survive. Therefore, the whole idea is that how to increase your selling, how to increase your productivity of anything, like, no. So take the example of people like me. In the morning, once you get up, I get a toothpaste, I get my brush, I buy it. Then I go for tea, cha patta, I buy it. Now this water also started buying. Everything is buying. Water we buy. Then you go to next days, you want to go out somewhere, you have to buy shoe, you have to buy pants, you have to buy whatnot, everything. You have to buy car. If you are buying everything, that means whatever you have, you are giving to others. At least in terms of the thing. So my idea is that we have to start selling. When you start selling, you will start using your resources. And when we use our resources, the value of our resources will be increasing. And that's how our economy will be developing. I'm really happy that, okay, LinkedIn, the spice industry, which have come up in company which have come in Meghalaya, is doing well, I suppose, because lots of ads comes in and people really liking it. Like, we are living in a place in Northeast is a full of wonders. Like, there are so many beautiful things. Like, in the sense that, okay, we are organic, we have such natural beauty, we have many more resources to explore, and which we have not been able to really use it. Like, no. Now, coming to that point, what I basically want to say is that, okay, one is that one is that buying and selling is something which we need to really understand. How we buy, what we buy and how much we buy, and what we sell. If you really do and plus minus, then you'll say, okay, we are always in the loser side. Therefore, having said that, so that for our people, if you want to really develop, we have to increase our productivity. And when you want to increase your productivity, you have to become entrepreneur. Until you become entrepreneur, just by doing job will not be going much ahead, because by doing job, you just do a job, you get to give services to buy, to get money, and you give it the money to the market. Nothing left with you and us. So in that kind of context, as I say, for any of us, or many more people have to join as an entrepreneur. And being a community which is poor still, we still need to upkeep our social capital. There's two capital. One is called economic capital, that is your saving and investment. What you can do is that is capital, which is economic capital. Like how much money you can get from bank. That is your economic side of it. But social capital is something people coming together, because we don't have money. We don't have that kind of resources where we can do big things, like, no. Therefore, for people like us, just like the way I'm trying to do in my own area, that we have to form cooperatives, we have to form collectives, so that people who are interested in ginger consumption, we come together. People who want to do dairy, they come together. People who want to do something else, like, we come together. Okay, that may be one way. Otherwise, okay, I do things which they call it aggregator. I want to do business of, let's say, milk. Therefore, I say that, okay, to any one, I tell one that, okay, one, if you buy your cow and I'll give the milk to me, I'll do marketing. So I'll be an aggregator. The aggregator is also somebody who is an entrepreneur, but the thing is that he also gives benefits to the other farmers. So now, having said that, what I want to really come to the thing is that if you want to be an entrepreneur, one is that we need to identify social issues. As I said, maybe education, maybe politics, or whatever you want to do, that should be with your heart. You identify that. To do that, to resolve that particular problem, somewhere we have to identify our resources. Sometimes when you want to do business, we just, for example, let's say I want to start a business in Shillong. What I'll do, I'll open a shop, I'll buy things from Guwahati, and I sell it. What's happening? I just take 2 rupees or 5 rupees profit out of it. In the process, my people are not benefiting anything out of it. The thing is, my idea is, okay, if I want to start a business in Shillong, I have both forward and backward linkage. Let's say that I'll start a business of something which our people grow in the village, maybe Nong Trao, maybe somewhere in this, or wherever. Maybe in Cherrapunji, maybe in Maulingnong, wherever. So they'll get benefit. The product which comes out from here, they'll benefit. And I sell in such a way that it goes out. Or my people also maybe buying from me. So one is that we have to depend on our own resources. If you are depending on other resources, then what? Again, to buy the resources, it will also drain away our money. So now, when you look to say about entrepreneurship, they call it 4 factors of production. One is, they call it, number 1, land. We have land. Our people have land. We are lucky. Compared to many communities, we are much more luckier because there are many landless people in this world, or even in Northeast. The communities who doesn't have much land, we all have land. Land is not a much a problem. Second is labor. We have labor. We have a good number of labor, but the problem is that our laborers are not trained of the thing which you want to do. For example, if you want to do dairy, we don't have people who are, because we just study general. Like I'm BA, I'm MA, I'm law. We are generalists. But when you come to entrepreneurship, you have to have different skills. So we have to train our labor. So I said land, labor. Labor we have, but our laborers are not trained to feed in the need in our enterprises. Second, capital. Capital is basically money which we'll be investing. Capital, we don't have money much. But the government, if the person is really serious enough to do the things, money is also not much problem. Just so much a bank, so many startup programs which is coming up into India. So therefore, I think there's not much problem. But the thing is that government also look people who really want to do something. Is my own personal experience that government also want to show something. They are always not bad officers. They are also good officers who want to do something for people. And there are banks who want to do something because they also look into the profits of the bank itself. Therefore, capital, though we don't have, there are many supporters. At the same time, as I say, since you are poor, best way is the coming together, like cooperatives, where we can work together, share profit, something like that. Then last is organization. We have many social organizations in Northeast. Social organization deals with social issues, but we don't have economic organizations. For example, in Meghalaya, in the Chamber of Commerce, I don't know who controls Chamber of Commerce of Meghalaya, let's say. Who controls Chamber of Commerce of Assam? Do we have merchant association? How many of us have real companies in Meghalaya, or the companies which run in Meghalaya, who owns it? Or if I may be owning it, but somebody else may be working. Therefore, we lack in the organizations, economic venture. Therefore, we have to develop that culture of organization. Like, no, maybe we may be having companies, so we may be a cooperative. And that's factors of production we talk economics. We have to understand it. We have to deal with that. Then, as I said, find your social issue which you want to deal. Second, identify your resources. Next point is identify resources. For example, for your entrepreneurship, you'll be needing resources. The resources you divide, and you also need to understand the value chain analysis of those resources. For example, if I have timber, what I can do with the timber. So something like that. If I have cattle, for example, cattle. I'm a dairy farmer now. People always ask me, how many cattle you have? I say, 15. They said, how much of milk? I said, 5 liter. 5 liter is not enough. But I said, no. I get money from milk. At the same time, I also get money from cow dung. But people don't think cow dung as a manure, as something which is sellable. So the thing is that resource analysis is very important, and value chain analysis of resources. So having said that, once you analyze your resources, because you should not be doing something on which we don't have resources. My feeling is that, because otherwise your money will go out again. Then once you have all those analyses, then you start planning for whatever venture you want to do. But at the same time, towards the end, I'll end with this word. Start doing things which is you with your heart. Ask questions to your heart. Pray to God before asking. Invite a God in your heart and ask Him to the God. That means which is in your heart. What is that I want to do in my life? It's not only benefiting me, but also benefiting larger society. And once you identify that, that will be your passion until you succeed. Once you not stop. I know that I have a long way to go. It's only at the second year of my work. I still say that it will take 5 to 6 years to really real result on my ground. It may not happen because there are many more circumstances which may lead failure me. But the thing is that the failure, but I'll have lots of learning out of it. Therefore, nothing to lose your heart. Keep doing things, not only for you, for the society. I thank you very much. I end it, and if there's some questions later on, I don't know whether it was good for the other thing, please give me feedback. And you can also call me, taking number for Juan. We can interact. Thank you very much. Juan? Hello?
Thank you very much, sir. Kong Millie, are you there? Hello, Kong Millie?
Yes. Oh, yeah. My speaker just went out.
Okay. What do you...
So, really, amazing, to hear from you, from the horse's mouth. In fact, this is a subject that many of us, we are not very, very, very familiar. That's why we always think of entrepreneurship as, only making money. But what we have learned from you is that it's... Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Right, sir. But what we have learned from you is, it's not only just a profit for oneself, but that profit is to be shared. This is the most beautiful thing. And it is something that we, all the young people here who are, I hope you have taken down notes also, so that you'll benefit from this talk, because I've taken quite a few already. And I can say, sir, that, for us, it's, a new learning. And what I learned from my grandmother and from my mother, that whatever we grow, we have to also share with all people around us. And so this is something very beautiful that you are again reaffirming. And I must thank you personally, because this is just helping me to go deeper in this very beautiful philosophy. Thank you, sir. So we'll come back to you with the question and answers later on. Right, sir? Okay, Thank you once again. Thank you once again, sir, on behalf of all the participants and our members who are organizing this program. Now, can we go to Madam Momi? Madam Momi, are you there? Hello? Hello? Madam Momi is there?
Hello, Kong. Miss Momi is not here.
She's not there.
Maybe we can take questions.
Okay. Before we take questions, I would like to tell something about Momi. Okay. Because I've been to this very beautiful island. I mean, all of us, we should see one day. It is from Jorhat, you can take a ferry to this place. And when I traveled many years ago, it was around 75 kilometers from one end to another. But unfortunately, the water that comes very high during the monsoon has eaten up a large chunk of the island. And just recently, I came across a very wonderful person. I don't know whether you have heard about him, but he is known as the forest man of India. And there's a forest that he has developed in Majuli Island, which is called the Molai Forest. Have you heard about that? Anybody have heard about the Molai Forest? This man, in his 30 years of doing this social forestry, he has planted over 40 million trees. Something amazing. And I think 2015 he got the Padma Shri Award from the government of India. His name is Jadap Mulai Payeng. He is a man from Majuli Island. This Majuli Island, it's the other side. You can come from North Lakhimpur side, but it's I don't know. We have not tried that. But from Jorhat, it is very easy to go in there. And Momi happens to be from this place. Now, some of you may have seen her introduction in her Facebook. I found it very impressive. And a young lady like her, she's well trained by this Better India and by her mentors, one of whom is Samir Botolai, who has done a lot of this social farming, and he's going from state to state to help people to do this social farming. And it is not just that, he is going organic. Now, see, why, as I told before, many of us, we're getting sick. We're getting sick, why? Because we're eating food that has been processed from the products that are heavily filled with pesticide. And so you find beautiful fruits, beautiful vegetable with not a spot there because of the chemical fertilizer or chemical pesticide that they have used. But these are very dangerous for our own health. And so this lady has been trained and she started an NGO called Rigbo. Very interesting. And she has also got many of the ladies to join her to form a kind of cooperative, as I spoke just now. And they are doing something like a collective farming for the whole community there. Because most of them belong to the same tribe or to the same group of people, so it becomes very easy. And something that is very unique, I used to see plenty in Assam, this what we call water hyacinth. Water hyacinth, it looks something like a lotus, but it's not a lotus. It eats up all the water bodies, and you will see nothing but only green thing around. But even as a young girl, I was told while I was studying there in Guwahati that this is very good for converting into what you call fuel, like I don't know, like petrol or something like that. But this lady, what she has done, she has used this invasive plant that invade every area of the water and kills all the fish, kills all other beautiful plants and beautiful water life that we can find in the water bodies. And so what she has done, she has changed this water hyacinth with the help of other ladies, about 32 of them, into organic compost. Now, compost is something that, can be made from anything, even a kitchen waste also. Many of you will be throwing away. I think if you have a little place, I mean, don't throw it. You save them in your bin and convert them into compost, and you can sell it later on. This can become a business for you, right? And so this lady, she has started this organic compost with this water hyacinth, and they have earned something over 2.5 lakhs, and they're still earning. So really, I appreciate this lady, because I've been to this place, Majuli Island. I fell in love with it, but that was the only time I went there, because the place where I stayed, it was so damp that when I came back to Jorhat and from there to Guwahati, I lost my voice for 2 weeks. So I don't know when next time I'll go there. So now, sir, we come back to you for the question and answers. Please, participants, don't feel shy. Do ask. Okay, please come forward and note down also what you would like to ask, and also what you would like to hear, so that this will remain in you. It'll be a guidance for you. Thank you.
Please. Yes, somebody was writing. I saw a message saying writing the message, the question. It came up in popped up, but it is no more there. But anybody, please ask question.
Yeah, Sir Swapada, I think there is one Sona Bhatt. He has posted. He has put in a question in the chat box. His question is actually, what is the role of government in promoting social entrepreneurs? Do you believe that the current government is playing its role professionally? So that is one question which is being asked by Sona Bhatt. Yeah.
Okay, let me take one by one.
And that'll be fine. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, when you say what's the role of government, as you know that every sector of government function is a system, no? There's something called social welfare department who look into social issues of the social issue. Then you have finance minister who looks into finance of the country. There's also industry minister who is looking into industrial sector. The government has all these different sectors, and in this sector, they have different programs, and they have also different policies. Now, for example, I'm interested in agriculture. There are so many programs which government has under agriculture program. So these agriculture programs can be accessed as an individual or as an organization. So it is all up to the person. Government has different programs, or programs which already exist. For example, take the example of agriculture. So government is promoting by itself organic farming. So if somebody you are interested, then you have to read what are the different program government has. So government also has certain systems in place. The agriculture department will be having a section where they'll be dealing with the organic farming. The person who is interested into it, they have to go and they have to access that. Take the example of me. When I came back here, my approach is integrated farming. As one was saying about health issues related to different kind of food habits we have or food we consume. I felt that food is something which is important. Therefore, if I have dairy industry, let's say, it will solve only my problem of my milk, or maybe ghee, or maybe curd, or something like that. But what about my other food? So I started believing the whole this thing called, I really a believer of Mahatma Gandhi's idea of what they call it, Sarvodaya. Sarvodaya is something like self-sufficiency. Why you cannot have self-sufficiency? Okay, there are certain things you cannot produce. So the thing is that for me, I have to have, or my community has to have everything what we eat at least. There are certain things we cannot produce. Forget about it. But something which you can produce, you have to have integrated. Therefore, I started with milk, dairy, because with the cow dung I can prepare my compost, and with that I can use into my farm. I have milk, I have curd, ghee, and all those things. At the same time, I'll also be putting my cow dung as compost into my field. Therefore, there's a connection. There's an integration of my work. Otherwise, usually in monoculture, people, what they do is that they only think about that milk only. Like, I want to produce 100 liters of milk. They don't focus on the cow dung and other products. But for me, I want to look into overall. So having said that, what I did, I started going to veterinary department because I want my cows to be vaccinated. So why should we, since they are coming to my village, I invite other villages to get their cows vaccinated. Therefore, along with my work, along with vaccination of my own cow, I am also inviting other 100 families to vaccinate. There's one point. Second point is that when I go to the government department, okay, I have this many cows, but it is this many cows a year. Therefore, the program of veterinary department, it should be reaching to these people, 100 people. So what happens is that that's veterinary. Then I go to dairy department and said, okay, we have this, I produce this much of milk. And at the same time, I'm forming a cooperative. How we can help it? Therefore, dairy department now started taking interest into me. How we can become a cooperative, have chilling plant and all those. Like, people start discussing about it. And people see the commitment of the person, the engagement of the person. Once you start working with full dedication, government officials and other officials, other people start observing you, and that takes time. Therefore, I said that government has a role. What is the role of government? Government is not coming to, will not come to you to do it, to ask you to do it. But the thing is that you have to approach government. At the same time, you must be knowing there's something called Skill India, Make in India, startups, different programs. Government of India has different startup support programs. Therefore, all these programs are basically made for entrepreneurship. But along with entrepreneurship, if you have dovetailed the social part of it, that's the best. You go for it for yourself, at the same time you add on for other people. Then you become a social entrepreneur. You are not doing only for you, but also you are adding that benefit to other people also by your engagement. Okay? Government really helps. Government has, these programs are made for helping people. But generally what's happening in today's India or today's Northeast or today's Assam, what I basically see is that it always goes to wrong people. Farmers, actual farmers does not get it. Who gets it? Who have political connection, who have influence in the political system or institutional system. They will get the benefit, for particular in the context of Assam. Who will get it? A non-farmer who has political influence will get it. But actual farmer who is illiterate and or literate but does not have time to go to government office, they will not get it. The problem also lies there. But if somebody is really committed, want to do something, have passion, people start realizing, and you will get support. Is that fine?
So I think the person, yeah, I think he has said, yeah, I think it's well received, sir, the answer. Yeah. So, Mildred, are you around? Yeah. Okay, I think we are a little bit behind time, so I think Madam Mumi is also here. So I think Mildred has also given the introduction. So I would, at this point of time, request Madam Mumi to kindly, take over and share your views on the aspects of social entrepreneurship. Madam.
Okay. Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
Good evening. And first of all, I would like to congratulate my friend Vandaya and her team members, all of you, for this beautiful initiative. And I'm thankful to you guys for inviting me to share about my journey and also the aspects of social entrepreneurship. To Swapan sir, like, it was really inspiring, and a lot of things that you spoke about could well connect, and it was very interesting topic, and sir has mostly covered most of the thing already. I would start from where he had spoke only. So one thing was he spoke about beginning from self, our interests, and the idea of feeling the responsibility towards our village. That is what he spoke about, and he spoke about interest and passion. So I had the same. I wanted to share from connecting with our own self, actually, because that is where sustainability will be. In a way, when we are talking about being a social entrepreneur, and when we are talking about making sustainable, bringing about sustainable development, being our self-sustainable, I think it all starts from our own self. And let me just tell you a bit of my story. So I call myself as a social entrepreneur, but let me say that I have a long way to go. But I believe that the seed is already sown, and that is where when I was doing my MSW in Bosco Institute in the year 2008 to 10, actually the curriculum and the environment out there, the friend circle, the people, they have all actually gave me that, helped me to discover about self, and that is how it started. And actually I believed in what I can do for the society. I believed in not only working for myself, but I actually started to believe that I can do just more than working in a government office. I can do something I am passionate about. So that was the beginning. And I came back to my village. I went for sorry, there is some messages. I have little bit of network issues, so do you mind like if I don't put on my camera? Hello, anyone there?
Yes, Momi, if that is the
Yeah.
case, fine, you can proceed.
Yeah, okay, so sorry. So in the comment section, social entrepreneurship in respect of rural women may be discussed on it. Okay. Fine, we'll come to it. Just to connect from what Sir Sopan was also talking, and that was my beginning. And I started believing in myself because that is where it all begins, right? So I started to work on my interests, and finally, after having some experience in job and all, I finally came back, and that was my aim when I was doing my MSW already. I think social entrepreneurship in respect of rural women. Okay, so here my journey is that now I call myself also as a farmer, but farming is not the only thing I am doing here. But we'll talk in length more about the farming thing, I guess, because that is where I can also answer this question. We have already discussed on what business and what entrepreneur is all about, types of entrepreneur and all of these things. Let me directly come to certain things like, I wanted to actually do a session on little bit about, after attending this session, my aim was that after attending this session, actually, we will be able to develop our first business plan. So before coming to that, since Vandaya was also talking about the water hyacinth part, and let me just connect back from where I started and what I am doing now. here and oh, hello.
Yeah. Yeah, you, madam, you're audible. Yeah, you can continue, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah, so sorry. Some calls in between. So here I came back and we started. I also started my initiative called Rigbo, and in Rigbo we mainly work with the youth. And while we were working with the youth, and we actually try to work with the youth on discovering their interest and passion, so that after doing that they can connect with other connect more in detail about their interests and develop themselves. So as sir has already said, everybody will have to go as per their interests, and we cannot be saying that all the entrepreneurs have to work on farming, or all the entrepreneurs have to work on maybe weaving. It all starts from our own self. We have to really get into what we really want to do. We have to really discover ourselves, our passion, our interests, and then go for it. So that is what we try to do in Rigbo. And while doing that, we also wanted to, because there is a lot of my interest versus there is a lot of societal pressure, family expectations, and all of these things. And in a society like this, how do we strive towards working on what we really love to do? And while doing that, while working with the youth, we got to know that we actually, as we know, like what we do is we mostly fall back to mothers. We talk about our problems, and when mothers support us, a lot of thing is already done. So we started working with the women on investing, creating a project which has zero investment, because we couldn't wait for funding to happen, and we had to start with actually what was available, and that's where the water hyacinth, which was readily available in this island, beautiful island, and water hyacinth grow very fast, and it has high potash content, and that is where we started making water hyacinth compost with the women for their economic sustainability, and also working with the women was also to create a supportive environment to talk about the issues of young people. Yeah. So that is it. And next, I would just like to share, when we are talking about being the social entrepreneur and being working on our passion, while we are self-sustaining and all of these things, and adding to what sir has said, maybe we have to focus on three major things when we are starting a business, and that is we have to see the social aspect and how social entrepreneur is different. The business is, I think, in social entrepreneur or being an entrepreneur, it invites us to be innovative and really research about the need of the people and what I am facing. So, for example, like I started a cafe in this island, and this is the first ever cafe, this youth resource center. And while running this youth resource center, when we are running a youth resource center in an office setup, not many young people are interested. So we started this cafe to make spaces, youth spaces, safe and more fun. So we have space to, like, the setting is in such a way that people are comfortable, and it is not a fine dine area. We have different setup like chairs, stools, wooden log, and it is in the riverbank. So while I came back to the island and started my social work, I actually felt that there is a need for a space away from home, my own home away from home, in a way like where I'm more comfortable and it is fun, and the young people also will like to. So we started introducing music and coffee, talking over a cup of coffee, working space. We can spend as much of time we want in this space, and it's in a river bank. So we transform a government building into something like we have a reading space. People also can come in, drop in for counseling and all of these things. So we have started this, but firstly I felt the need and connecting with other youth, and such a space was created. So there's an example. And I think while we are starting this, while I was just talking about the social, economic and environmental factor, just to talk a little more about it, then we should go like this. When we are doing anything, there is the social aspect, and then of course we have to be self-sustaining because of this entrepreneurship. And another one is, how do we balance this with the environmental factor? In a cafe, like there will be a lot of plastic that will come in, because we have this food items packaged in plastic and all of these things. We are trying our best to minimize the plastic uses. One thing is, I try to put all the vegetable peels into one basket that will go into compost, and the other thing is making eco bricks out of these plastics. So that is another thing. Hello, I am talking and talking, so I hope I'm quite audible.
Yes, you are audible. We can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Because I feel like I'm talking to some dead people. That's why this Zoom calls and these things are not so comfortable for me. I like everybody, I guess, interact. I mean, if we have the option, we would always like to interact physically, face to face, right? Yeah, so that is a bit about my journey and connecting to the social entrepreneurship thing. And let me just share you a few more points. I'll just take 5 more minutes maximum. There are a lot of things that I jotted down actually to share, but since sir has already shared, I'm just trying to connect from where he has, what he has said actually. It was really inspiring talk, by the way. Yeah, so I told you about, maybe one of the question was also that. Let me just not hurry. Kindly suggest some measures to be taken up to develop entrepreneurship. Okay, it's a huge question. I think that was also. So I told you about maybe we can just try, all of us, we can just try doing this small activity, maybe not now, but maybe I give some points which may be helpful. I'm not sure. So one thing is that I believe like when we are being the entrepreneur, wherever you are, whatever you would like to do, we all talked about beginning from self, and first we have to just, I think, observe in and around businesses that is in and around us. We have to, from in our own localities, kind of. So we have to observe how business are running actually. What do they do in their day-to-day life? So that is one task. Maybe we can try doing that. So in our own locality, in our own neighborhood area, and we should, I think, discover which is the idea or which is the business that you like. And after doing that, we should just try to ponder upon the business, like where you will see, I think we will see a lot of business in and around, like local products in local market, trading outside products in local market. So these, I'm just giving few examples. So, but you will see more and more, and you will see, I think you will also see very, very interesting concepts, very innovative things that inspire. But I think we should go on observing, having a keen observation on the business that is in and around, or somewhere, when you travel. And so we have to observe this, and going deeper into self, what you are really interested in, and we can try to observe business model. And after that, after observing this, we can get back to ourselves, and after getting back to ourselves, we can try to connect with the interest area that we are into. And after one more thing, sir was also mentioning that what is needed for being the entrepreneur, like resources and all. And after connecting back to what we are really interested in and what is the solution that we want to solve in our own local area. So that is what we can do, and we should try to keep three things balanced. What is the social aspect, the economic aspect, and the economic aspect and the environmental aspect. We should try to balance that and try to develop a business idea, right? So I think few questions regarding, we can just try, okay, means I'm not saying, like, we can just try out if we are interested in. And I believe, like, only when we all are working on the things that we really love to do, only then the society can develop more, like, otherwise we will be still going with the wind, kind of. We have to challenge the system, the status quo. If I really don't like the system, there is no there is no point complaining. But we should try to. It's just my belief that we should just try to work on what we really love to do, and we should try to develop solutions towards that. And regarding that, maybe while I'm talking about local business, a few more things to keep in mind. That is, we should try to create, obviously, like, we will create employment, we will generate employment, And for our products or services, finding market is one thing. The other thing is we are providing self-employment and bringing about the required growth in our society. And I believe that is how a society can go to the next level. And while we are talking these things, like it's not that easy, because what the society has believed for many, many years, and what innovation, or when we are trying to really work on what we really love and what changes that we want to see, there will be a lot of challenges, but there is no harm in trying, right? So that is what I believe. And while we are doing this exercise, let me just put few questions, and we'll end with that, and we'll come back to the question and answer section also. So one thing is like, what is the product? So product, or what is the idea? What is your social entrepreneurship idea? We can just try, okay, once again I'm saying. And the other thing is, who is the customer, or who is the beneficiary? Who means my product or my service is benefiting whom, or who are the customer? Next is, why will they buy or benefit from our product? And next thing, we can look into where will this product be produced or sold, means produced and sold. And last, we can think about when and how will we make money from this product or service. So that is it. And it's very difficult to lecture on and on. So maybe we can just come back to interacting thing. Maybe if there are, I'm happy that there are many people here, but maybe if we can interact at least with few of them, I'll be happy. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Momi, for sharing your knowledge and practical experience with all of us. I request any of the participants to kindly unmute yourself and ask your question directly to the resource person. And Kongmili, are you?
Hello.
Yes, please unmute
Hello.
yourself.
Yes. Yes, tell me.
Okay. Right. My question, actually, I typed in, but I think I can repeat that again. My question is very simple. I mean, like, how should I be introducing myself? It's okay, right?
Lina Pegu.
Right.
Yeah.
So, my question is like, one of the things that kind of like draws me about your, like, the whole work is like, how you got women involved. Was there any specific issue that you had to face? I mean, like, do you think when you were having women on board, was it a difficult task? Was it like easy for you to get women on board with your ideas? Was it any specific issues you had to deal to get them on board? This is one of the things that I had in mind.
Okay. I hope I am audible.
Yes, ma'am.
So we initially worked with these 32 women, and bringing them on board was actually it wasn't that tough. Also, one thing was like we tried to. What I did was making things simple for them. One thing is the economic factor that they would focus. So my first aim was actually talking to them was to create to open bank account, and everybody should have some savings in their account. So that is one thing, like, that is with one thing I motivated them. And then I shared what was the main purpose of bringing women on board. Later on, we could talk about the issues of young people, their the required support that we need from them. Another thing was that while we were working on this water hygiene project, we didn't allow them to, we didn't kind of invite them to travel long distance. It was their own small groups of 5 to 6 maximum that they would prepare this. We used to go around from village to village, our team and me. So we used to demonstrate this thing in their own locality, and we have given them the freedom to actually develop this water hygiene compost in their own groups of 5 to 6 maximum, and in their own like nearby, just nearby their home. So those were some of the techniques, and women actually it's not so difficult to be with them, but just we need to understand some of the practical points, because they are mostly housewife and they cannot spend too much time on like traveling and doing their work. So I believe like understanding a bit of this their problems and the practical issues that they face in their day-to-day life, I think that helps. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, it is a very good, ma'am, that you have stressed on digitalization, on the saving, and yes, the saving and thrift. And the second thing that you have emphasized is on women empowerment. So it's very inspiring. So we still have, so we still have few questions related. So we'll move on question wise. So from Gabriel Kongsai, the question is, kindly suggest some measures to be taken up to develop entrepreneurship in Northeast India.
Actually, that point, that was a point we talked throughout. You know, we were also, we need the resource and things like that. This mindset, one thing is the mindset. In the mindset I'm talking, because that's a great support that everyone can have. So,
yes, I also agree with you that
government, you know, they have various initiatives towards developing entrepreneurs, starting entrepreneurs. There are a lot of schemes and measures that they are there. They are. Yeah. But it's just my personal suggestion. I mean, these measures are there from the government.
Hello, yes.
What I believe is that,
Yes.
Again, I go back to what sir was talking, because I was very carefully listening to it. And in our own, I think it all begins from our own lifestyle, our parents, what they encourage to do, that we need. And another thing was, this was also already spoken, another thing is that, do we really explore more on what we really love to do? Do we really go on, like, explore in the sense, what I mean to, in our own academic area, plus you know, exploring more in terms of like traveling and really acquiring the knowledge that we need? Do we really do that? I think sir also have something to add. So sir, over to you.
Actually, you see, what I basically feel, because we need to connect the history. In Northeast, for example, it was disconnected. It was not connected. Why people in Mumbai are developed? Why people in Mumbai are developed? Why people in Delhi are developed? Because why Kerala is developed? is because of they have something called locational advantage. They had advantages. Vasco da Gama, when they came, the Arabians, the all kinds of seas, that they were trading through sea road, no? So there was a locational advantages of this area. Calcutta developed because of they have locational advantages. We are landlocked. It's opening up now. So people were not thinking of trading. It's a process. The thing is that people, as I always think that, okay, people, all the people in the world started to agriculture. And in agriculture, they have capital formation. Then they invest into industry. Then there are trade and commerce, all those things are happening. Therefore, in our community, this process is on in everywhere in the world. But in the context of Northeast, what's happened is that we were agriculture economy and we still continue to be agriculture economy. But we were doing only subsistence economy, subsistence agriculture. We didn't have saving. Therefore, we don't have capital. And since we don't have capital, at the same time, we have lesser exposure to the world. Therefore, we cannot process it and produce it and sell it for the market. Now, having said that, now people like you and me, all of us are now educated, exposed, and went to outside the world. Now, but the problem is that the way we got educated, there is no orientation towards that kind of thing where we towards developing entrepreneurship. We were told that study hard so that you get a job. Therefore, the process which your organization is starting itself is a process where there will be more and more entrepreneurs coming up in days to come. I think that last 5 years, there has been huge increase in number in terms of entrepreneurship. If you look at Guwahati, if you look at Assam, if you look at Manipur, or even for that matter, Mizoram I have seen, or Meghalaya, the people are starting to do it. Like, for example, if you tourism industry, to some extent, there's increasingly, after Maulinong, there are many more places are explored. Therefore, the thing is that the entrepreneurship is now in. And with the effort of the kind of your organization, I think it will grow, one. At the same time, there is also need to change the attitudinal aspect of the youth. Like, as today is also the process is that, how to shift the attitude of people rather than seeking a job, why you can become a job provider or self-employed. The attitudinal shift and the attitudinal shift always take time. Number two, therefore, the focus is orienting our youth towards our industry, towards entrepreneurship. Second is that there is need to shift our attitude towards that direction. And the thing is, next is that how your organization, like ECSSRP City, how you start engaging the government, so that all kind of program which government has, how we can direct it towards those people who are interested. As I was saying, if somebody is interested in agriculture, she or he may not be getting the support from the government because there's a political interest of the political groups. Therefore, the benefit goes to only the person who has some political link or some administrative link. Therefore, your organization, your kind of organization has a role to play. How to connect the entrepreneur and the government department. At the same time, how we advocate to the government that, okay, these are new generation entrepreneurs where there's a need for support. Therefore, you need to engage with the government. I think, but it's a process. I think it's happening. At the same time, when you go down to our talk to our kids, smaller kids, new generation, young people, engage with the school children and all, Therefore, give the opportunity, show the opportunities to them. Then, okay, there's a world which is called entrepreneurship, and where you can also venture into that direction. Interestingly, at least in Assam, government of Assam has come up with, in the high school level, they are introducing agriculture as a subject. Or they are introducing something like that kind of subject, which will be fitting into the need of economic development, where people in the rural area can do that kind of entrepreneurship. Therefore, government also has realized that, okay, there is a need for entrepreneurship. And that's how government is doing, as I say, Skill India program or Rural Livelihood Mission. Therefore, governments are always there. Only thing is that our youth have to be oriented towards this direction. And once you start working it, and if you are passionate enough, if you are able to sustain for at least 4 or 5 years, then things will work out. But most of the time, our people loses their hope very soon. They'll try for 1 year and say this is not benefiting, and they leave. But to success, I was reading yesterday. I just came up in the WhatsApp. For Apple, it took 20 years to establish the business. Apple, the mobile Apple, computer Apple. It took 20 years for Steve Jobs to establish his business. Microsoft took almost 12 years. So for any business who have come up, it took 10 years or 5 years or 7 years, minimum 7-8 years to really come to the point which is called break even. To succeed, for example, I started 2 years back. To get into my break even is what? When my income and expenditure is same, that's called break even. So my income, expenditure is 10 lakh, income is 10 lakh, that is called break even. To get into break even, it will take at least 6-7 years. And then you start growing, like your income will move. And our younger generation has to, they should have that much of energy in them, motivation in them, re-motivate themselves so that they succeed in their life. That orientation is required. Thank you very much on that aspect. Yes?
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for emphasizing on the vocational training and the subject-wise that can be added in the curriculum perspective. So we still have around 3 questions.
Yes.
So stressing on, very interesting, question posted in YouTube by Riti Shari Khan. How different is an entrepreneur from a social entrepreneur?
As discussed earlier, it was mentioned. An entrepreneur, for example, Bill Gates is an entrepreneur. Bill Gates, the owner of Microsoft, is an entrepreneur. But the thing is, now there's a company called Bill Gates Foundation. So whatever profit he gets out of it, he invests into Bill Gates Foundation, and Bill Gates Foundation give money to different charity organizations. Therefore, in that way, there's no clear-cut difference. But the thing is, there are some people, the objective is only in terms of money, without really looking into the social impact or that kind of impact. That will be confined into entrepreneurship. Whereas when you say about social entrepreneurship, whoever individual or group of people who are doing social entrepreneurship will be not only looking into their income, but also looking into social, cultural, and economic impact of the community. That's the only difference. But as I say, Tata company, they have something called Tata Trust. Whatever profit they earn, because they do it for profit, but they also invest in the Tata Institute of Social Science. They also invest in Tata Trust, and who is larger community in India and other part of the world also get out of it. Therefore, there's no clear-cut thing, but an entrepreneur is something, he may be doing additional services to the community, but mostly the idea is that entrepreneur is something who thinks only about profit. But a social entrepreneur, he may be even negating the idea of profit, in the sense that I want to do this not for profit, for social growth. A social entrepreneur always give more emphasis on the society rather than himself. That's the only difference. Is that clear? I understood like that, okay?
Yes, I also agree, sir, that social entrepreneurship is for social sustainability development.
Yeah.
So moving on to the last question of the evening. This is from Damien Mangte. This is to both sir and ma'am. When you first started off after making the decision to become an entrepreneur of your choice, what are the challenges that you face, and how you handled or channelized those challenges towards your success so far? So please share your insight.
Mommy can start first, okay?
Yeah.
Then I'll add on.
Miss Mumi, you can start it.
Okay, thank you. So actually, I started with my story, how I came to this field actually. So when I was still studying, I think I believe Bosco Institute can they bring a lot of like people from outside, like visiting faculty and all. Madam Vandaya and one more friend I have here, Ainam Lin. We really had a very good exposure out there, we can say. Like people used to share their stories, and sharing stories matters a lot. And that's how I told that I started believing in myself, that I can contribute more to the society. Just then, I actually went for a job. Okay, I actually went for a job. I will complete my master's and I will directly go for a job. That was my thinking when I joined. But going there, in 2 years' time, my thinking and feeling was completely different. And out there, we we focus on discovering our passion, things that makes us uncomfortable, kind of, so that we can bring solutions to that. And immediately after my MSW, I was the first one to join job. Okay, and that's how I started working because of various reasons. But I always had in my mind that I'll be back to my society, to my community, where I belong, because this is indeed a beautiful place, but we are a new district also. There is a lot of scope and a lot of new things that is happening around us to be introduced here. And one thing was, one important thing that I felt was that we should create spaces where young people can discover their passion, discover what they really love to work on. Because it may be jobs, or it may be anything. But if we are doing what we love, we can contribute in a better way, and because of that, a society can really become better. That is what better society. So we are running this space, safe space for youth, so that we are encouraging people to discover their passion, work on their interest, and that is the inspiration that I got from Bosco Institute, and I wanted to give back that to the society. And while I am working in this youth space with the youth, sound. Sorry. Okay. So it's just not about academic achievement, but there are people who are like dropouts, but they have interest. Like one story I can say, like one of the guy was interested in photography, and he studied just.
Excuse me, ma'am. Hello. Excuse me, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, Miss Damin.
Ma'am, my question was, after you have started working on this, your project, your entrepreneurship, in the beginning, when you first started, what were the challenges that you have faced? It means, like, for example, you are doing something which is completely new, right? So when you do that, there must be some challenges that make, sometimes people will not be very cooperative, that sleepless night, how you started planning, how that plan of action is being practiced, how the success so far. I was just interested in the kind of challenges that you face and how those challenges has been channelized, turned into a success, like today. No, I was interested in that. I hope it is clear, ma'am.
Yes. I was just talking on this. I think it's already been very long, and let me just come to that point, because the thing was,
of course, there are challenges. There were challenges. One thing was, a society, in our society, when we finish our masters, we are expected to do a job, right? Directly into a job. And that was also my aim. And coming back to my society and community, there was never, it was never very encouraging. Okay. It was never encouraging that after finishing masters, again, I come back to after finishing masters, it was never encouraging for our society to be like jobless and doing some NGO works here. And there are not many people who study social work. They don't even know what social work is about. So that was the challenges. And for me, that one thing that kept me going was because I was really connected with myself. And I was already convinced that, the experience that I received, that I want to share with others. So that is what kept me going. And, these challenges, I can share that when I had these questions from people, a lot of tags that they would give, काम नहीं, like in Assamese they say, hopeless people doing so much of education and not successful. We are considered as someone who are like not successful, and these things goes on actually. But when we are in touch with ourselves and really want to see the change that we want to see. So through Rigbo, we really want to create proactive society where each individual will work on what they really love to do in life. And that is what my dream is about. And that is what I believe in, and I will keep going. I think that's it. Yeah. Thank you.
Let me come in now.
Yes, sir.
Mommy has always said, okay, they are always challenged when you do something against the train. There's something which is trained. So if you only want to do job, like MSW, you have to do job. There's a train. That's how we are trained from our childhood. When you do something against the train, always there's challenges. People ask questions. Has he gone mad? Is he as insane? Doing such kind of job and leaving the job and doing this kind of thing in the paddy field. So these are it becomes jokes in the village, like, you see this man. And in a sector which is already, people are talking about Indian agriculture is in crisis. People are leaving agriculture. People want to live in city. And on the other side, we are coming back to villages and say they want to do business, want to do agriculture. But the thing is that in that, what's happening is that they don't see my vision. They don't see Mommy's vision. They don't know what is the vision of Mommy. Or the vision I have created for myself and the larger society, they don't know. There are two things what I want to tell you for all of us. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's something called my vision or my dream. I have some dream for myself and my village and the community I work with. And there's something called shared vision. Shared vision is something, I have a vision, one has a vision, Mommy has a vision, or Damien has a vision. When all these visions come together, create something which is shared. So everybody of us become part of that particular vision. The challenge here is that the dream which I want to dream, I'm splitting that dream to other people. And the difficulty is that they are not understanding that. And I tell them that, okay, when you are part of this dream, it's not only you, the larger society will be part of this benefit, the benefit of this particular dream. And they are their suspect. This man studied outside, work outside, do all these things and come back. What interest he has? The people suspect. They think that, okay, this man has come back and he will be doing all these things, money, he will take money from the government, he will take all money, all kind of corruption. Because that's the thing they have known. Our MLAs, our officials, everybody always looted the people. So the thing is that there's always a trust deficit in the village, and they always question the people who want to do something of that sort, because there's a huge trust deficit in the village, because nobody believes other one. And the other one, they think, okay, he is going to coming here to loot me or to whatever. Or many companies come and said, okay, I want to give, if it is in terms of, there's something called corporate farming or contract farming. So they always suspect, no? And that's something which we hear from the media and all, like this company has come, they've looted Sahara, India has looted people. So the thing is that there's always, therefore the challenge is to diffuse the mistrust. And that takes time. Huh? And that's the thing. One is that, okay, they will say, okay, this person has become sane, and coming together and creating that particular shared vision is a challenge. And they always suspect the person who want to do something like that. In the case of me, it also happens. And the thing is, when you come back from outside, we always have to come to the thing that, okay, I know, you don't know. If you do that, again, there will be challenge. It's not in government. You were not here in the village for so many years, and what do you know about it? So the thing is that we have to put our ego down, like, no? And start, you have to win the trust of people, like, no? And the thing is that there's a process where to build the trust of people is the most important task we need to do, because there's so much of mistrust in the community. That's again a challenge. For example, for a husband and a wife too, like, no? They start a journey after marriage. The whole thing which binds them together is a trust. And if you want to do something for the society, if you don't have trust among ourselves, whoever is working, then how will build that towards whatever we want to achieve? Therefore, building trust is very, very important. At the same time, that's a challenge. And at the same time, we need to keep our head down and be submissive to them. And at the same time, we orient them towards the vision which we want to create, which is challenge, and which we need to keep trying towards that. And that is self-tech, transforming self. I have to transform every day. Because, for example, I know one, but there are so many other women and so many other men in this world, in my village. Everybody will be looking at me from different direction. How will deal with it, like, no? So that is winning people, like, no? I win one doesn't mean I win all other people in this particular group, because the way I deal with one will be different from the way I will deal with Damen, the way I. So when you bring together as a social entrepreneur or leadership in that particular process, you have to win everybody depending on their attitude, their behavior, the way they behave, their character, and all those things. Like, no? That itself is a challenge, and only a person who can adjust himself to all those people towards that particular vision which you are wanting to go about will be succeeding in days to come. That's what I feel. The problem where it comes is that I am the person who dreamt about it. You are not the person who dreamt about it. And they will say, why you are imposing that dream to me? Because I don't have any authority to impose my dream on you. The thing is how you make that people accepting that dream. And that, I think, that is the biggest challenge. And when you start doing work, when I started doing the work, which will be you, anyone who want to do it, there are three kind of people in any kind of process, any kind of this kind of development process. Even in the government, it will be there. Even in the NGO, that will be there. When you do with the entrepreneurship, it will be there. There are three kind of people which people see. One is that when you start the work, there's somebody who will support you. If you fail, also you'll support. If you pass, also you support. They are always with you, like a good friend. And the second is called fence sitter. They will be in the border. When they will see that, okay, you are succeeding, they will be with you. When you are losing it, they will go out. And the third one is they just observe you from distance. And they are the people who complain. And if you're lucky enough, if you get at least one person who are willing to undergo a journey with you, you're a lucky one. And what I realized in the last 2 years or 2.5 years is that making people journey together, like like convincing people to journey together is the most important challenge. Because people always look from the money point of view, what I'll get out of it, how much I'll earn out of it. I say that you work, you'll get. Nowadays, people's focus is not on the work. People's focus is how much I will earn. And if you can change the attitude of people from how much I earn to how much I can work, many problems will solve. Because the challenge is people who want to work. So these are challenges. So in the process of this development, I need to find people who can be part of my vision, who share similar vision with me, at the same time who are ready to work with me and progress the journey. And that's a process. And the first thing is, as I say, money will come automatically. People are always worried about money. We don't have money. You're consistently day in and day out. If you're with your passion and try to do something, hopefully money will come. And it's not only about your dream, but you have to really work towards that particular dream. And to work towards the dream, you need people who will be with you all the time. Because as I say, 5 to 10 years is not a small period. Somebody will work with you. When they say, okay, things are not happening well, they'll leave. You train a person already and he left. You big lose and you bring another person, you do some work and say, okay, this is not working. Because it takes time. It takes time to really come to, because as I said, we are not moneyed people. We are not investing huge money. And I don't want to do something which other cannot replicate. For example, composting. Maybe 20,000-30,000 rupees I can make compost board, pit. But I don't want to do it because other poor farmers cannot replicate it. I want to make it with bamboo. So that is not only me, other can also join me. If you want to spread the thing as Momi was doing, they're making compost out of hyacinth. Other people can do it. So as a social entrepreneur, when you do things, if you want other people to join you, we should be thinking about what are the resources which not only you, but also other can access. Anyway, these are a few what comes to my thinking, and maybe it's already quite late. Therefore, I'll end here. Thank you very much. And let's hope that in this journey together, we'll do more interaction in days to come.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. And I agree, and I would like to quote that vision is the revolution of our life. So let's not end, but let us start. Yeah.
Yes.
So coming to an end, as all good things come to an end, so is the webinar. On behalf of ECSSR-CT, I take this opportunity to propose the word of thanks to those who have directly and indirectly contributed to this webinar on social entrepreneurship organized by our organization. At the outset, I would like to express my thankfulness to our two eminent social entrepreneurs who is the resource person of today's program, Shri Swapan Ashangbam and Miss Mumi Pigu. Thank you, sir, and thank you, ma'am, for taking out your time of your busy schedule and enlightening us with the knowledge. We are really enlightened with your knowledge and presence. It gives us the deep insight into the topic and also reveals some interesting facts. The knowledge and experience shared by you was really, really informative. I am pretty sure that the precious knowledge that you give us will definitely help, especially to the students for their future endeavors. I am thankful to our dearest colleague, Mrs. Mildred Yapniao, who is taking the lead as a moderator. I thank our honorable founder, Dr. Wandaya Senkan, and to the whole team of Vocational Committee for their motivation and enthusiastic support. A special thanks goes to schools, college principal and teachers for your support and coordination to reaching forward the program to the students who will be the future leaders of the nation. My heartfelt thanks to all the students and like-minded individuals out there for your active participation and yes, establishing this webinar into the successful ending and achievement. Well, ladies and gentlemen, an event like this cannot happen overnight. The wheels started rolling weeks ago. It requires planning and a bird's eye for details. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated colleagues who have helped in contributing from planning to technical management. So Randolph and Mr. Lamrichi, thank you for your taking care of the YouTube and helping us in mainstreaming life of the event today. Mr. Larry Kupal for handling the media, and Ms. Doreen for the concept notes, and Ms. Piba Bokhang for designing the certificates. And yes, last but not the least, I sincere thanks to all our wonderful colleagues for the support and sharing insights. With these warm words and a kind message, we move on to the end of today's webinar. Thank you everyone, and advance Independence Day.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
It was a treat listening to the both of you, Sir Swapam and Ms. Momi. Thank you once again for joining us and for the wonderful deliberation.
Thank you.
Before we wind it up, I request all the participants and the speakers to kindly unmute your videos for a group picture.
I request everyone to kindly on your video so that we can take a group picture.
It's done. Thank you very much. Enjoy your evening.
Okay. Yeah. So the feedback is in the chat box. Kindly fill in your feedback, please. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you, Balaji.
Thank you, Tracy.